Then my iPod just automatically, without touching it, start Entombed, and you hear LG yelling, "I'm full of hell." Do, 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 do. So okay, that's a call from LG, and this time I'm fucking picking up. I think it was actually an American reporter who started the whole thing, kind of, because we were touring America, volbeat was touring America, and he said, "So when are you returning to death metal?" I said, I don't know, when I get the time for it. And it just suddenly became a thing. Then the media's picked up on it, and especially the Danish media's. Michael Poulsen, frontman of volbeat, doing death metal again. So what am I? I just said might return to death metal one day, but it became a thing. Every time I was doing an interview, I was asked, "So when is this death metal band gonna be released?" Yeah, I don't know. You know more about it than I do, because I don't know. But the thing that really kicked it in, it was like we just finished Servant of the Mind with volbeat, and we went on an American tour. And I was talking to my guitar tech, and I said, I think I'm a little bit inspired to do some heavy riffing here. Can you get a hold of this ugly bus pedal to make this beautiful Swedish ugly sound? Yeah, it's not a problem. And before that, I was in LG Petrov from Entombed was one of my good friends, and we all know he got sick and he's not around anymore. And he called me one day when I was at a supermarket. I was at the register. I couldn't pick up. And next time he called, it was during the night, so I didn't pick up the phone. And next thing I hear that he passed away. So I was really sad about it, because it was so close to the day that he passed away that I'm pretty obvious that he knew. He just wanted to call and say thanks and everything and goodbye. But it really stuck in my mind, and no matter where I am today, I'm always picking up my phone. And when I went on this American tour and told my guitar tech to find that pedal, he said, "Yeah, I'll find it today." So, all right, I'll just take my morning run, and let's talk about that pedal later. Then my iPod just automatically, without touching it, start Entombed, and you hear LG yelling, "I'm full of hell." Do, 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 do. So okay, that's a call from LG, and this time I'm fucking picking up. And for me, it was him telling, "You're stuck now with that project." So I wanted to call it Full of Hell, but quickly found out there was another band with that name. So I said, "So what do I do?" Okay, Asinhell. That's gonna be the name. And so you can say that LG did really give me a push, because I took it as a call from him saying, "You're stuck now." And so that's what I did. I also remember showing King Diamond the logo and the name, and he said, "Yeah, I really like that name." And you can also, if you really look at it, you can say Asinhell. So, yeah, that's great. So we kept that.
Well, the idea of forming a death metal band with Michael was, that's lasted long, like 10 years back or something.
Marc I've been knowing for many years as an old Morgoth fan. But then when he formed Insidious Disease, I just wrote him that I really loved their debut album, and I was blown away, and it was good to hear him in a great band again. And we just stayed in contact and been very, very good friends ever since. And I've been hanging out a lot. And I said to Mike, we should totally do a project one day. And he said, yeah. It was almost like he didn't believe it, because he knew how busy I was in volbeat, and it was like, how will he ever be able to find time for that?
He told me about his plan of doing a death metal band. I think first time was 2010 or something. But of course, Volbeat was like going through the roof with their stuff. You know, I never take it too serious, you know, and was always like, okay, cool, you know, if you need a vocalist, call me, you know. I never was expecting anything from Michael to come back with that plan.
But it happened, you know, and now we're here, and now the record is about to be released, and I'm so proud. I'm not only is he one of my really good friends, I'm still a fan of Marc. You know, it's great to be a fan of one of your good friends.
Well, he called me and said, now's the time. Are you interested? Are you in? Do you want to do it? And I said, well, yes. was pretty a surprise on the one hand, but of course we had talked about that for almost like 10, 12 years before that, you know. So now we're here.
Amazing talent, probably the best death metal voice of all time if you don't look at Chuck Schuldiner. But I think Marc has similarities when it comes to Chuck Schuldiner. You can hear the old, the early Morgoth records. That's like listening to early death as well.
Well, my vocal inspirations, it's always hard to tell because it's such a long period of time that I'm listening to metal. I would say the first inspiration was, of course, the early new wave of British heavy metal, which probably was like Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford. A huge influence would be Ian Gillan, because he always does the high screams, which I really liked early in my early days already, and that still inspire me to like scream very high pitched sometimes. But of course, then in the mid 80s was the thrash metal singers, actually vocalists that are extreme, but you can still hear what they are singing. So that's, I would say the number one inspiration would be probably Tom Araya, because I like his pronunciation and the aggressivity he's having in his voice. So I would say that's the number one inspiration I had from the early mid 80s. And yeah, I tried to evolve my own style a little bit. Of course, the death metal stuff like Chuck, John Tardy. I mean, we've toured with all those bands, and it was always inspirational to me as well.
Yeah, I mean, actually, when this band was formed, I actually told Michael, yeah, it's going to be fun, and let's see what happens. Who knows if we will play live? Like, this wasn't the real. It wasn't like a big plan that we're going to be the next thing or whatever. But
we're going to try to make a record.
Yeah.
Playing more shows than Dark Throne.
Yeah. But then as this thing got going and I heard the riffs and the songs got together, I felt like, yeah, this would be a shame if we don't do this.
I would love to play this stuff live because I think it's music that needs to be performed. The question is, do we have the time to do it? Because I know that Volbeat is going to tour a lot and play a lot of shows worldwide.
Well, first of all, now we're concentrating on, it's very soon the record's going to be out, and of course, we're all very busy. Me being busy in Volbeat, and Marc being busy with his thing, and Morten his thing too. So I think next year is going to be the year where we will try to pick up and do some shows.
Well, my dream line-up for a tour we would support probably would be, let's say, Bolthor, Slayer. That would be nice, support Bolthor and Slayer, both on one bill with us as opening act. That would be a tour of my dreams.
Sit down with Fenris and tell him, come on, Dark Throne Asinhell tour, play more shows than ever. Let's do it. Come on, Fenris, let's do it. Or, play some shows with Autopsy or something. It would be great. That's a lot of great bands. Obituary.
Yeah, Obituary, I think, would be awesome. Yeah.
I hope it's going to happen, probably.
But there's plenty of ideas for the next record. I already have stuff recorded on my phone at home, so it'll be easy when we decide to start writing again, there's definitely ideas for a couple of songs already. So yeah, that's gonna be more releases from Asinhell.